There's no change. I'm practically his wife. Couldn't they tell me any more than that?
Well, if there's no change, that's all they can say. Do you want to go back to the hospital? I'll go with you if you like.
No, Marie's going. Couldn't face going back. You going again?
Yeah, tonight. Barry's mum will be there this afternoon.
She must have been out of her mind.
She was. Mind you, she was all right when we found out it was only...
Only Terry.
Sorry. Michelle.
What?
When we got told one of them was going to be in intensive care, well, I just kept praying it was Terry, not Barry. It's been on my mind.
I know. I kept praying it was Barry and not Terry.
Shall I make a cup of tea?
Ah, I didn't get where I am today by buying presents in the firm's time.
Sorry.
I was only joking. Who's it for?
A friend of mine.
Oh. A male worth spending money on. Lucky you.
It's a rather mature male, I'm afraid.
There's no such thing. Heather, something's cropped up and Erica suggested that you'd be the best person to handle it.
Oh?
Could you come and see me in my office when I get back?
Yes, certainly.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
You're joking.
Am I?
Even if he does come round, he's not going to want to talk to you.
Why not?
Because it's talking to you put him there in the first place.
It's your old man's mates who put him in there, love.
They're not his mates, soft Ollie. My husband's innocent.
They always are, love.
He is. Now, go away, will you? You make me sick.
I'll be here for a while yet, love.
Oh, yeah. You're always hanging round afterwards. But when it's all happening, you know where to be seen. Where were you when this was going on, eh?
And where were you? I heard you were filling your face with ale.
My God, if you thought there were a couple of pickets, there'd have been a million of you there.
Yes, love.
Message to all miners. Help the police. Beat yourself to death.
Now, listen, sweetheart. You don't know the half of it. When this was going on, we were probably picking up the pieces of some kid off the road. Or trying to separate a couple of piss artists from killing each other with bottles.
Or drinking tea down the station.
All right, carry on. But you'll be the first on the phone when your house gets screwed, won't you? That fella there, love, we're not interested in him. Some tuppenny-halfpenny cowboy throw a wobbler pinching steady bottles. And your fella, love, I couldn't care less. He's in the nick because he got greedy and that's all.
He never did a thing.
Shut it. It's the baddies we want, love. You know, the head the balls with the shotguns. Have you ever seen one of those go off, eh? Have you? Because if you do, you'll be screaming for the likes of me. You know that fella you've just been slagging off? So do me a favour, eh, love, and just shut it.
OK, I'll give in.
What?
I'll give in. Oh, I can't hear a thing. Where is it, then?
What?
My skeleton.
What do you think is holding you up?
Sheer willpower at the moment. Catherine, where is Vivian?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, you've hidden him.
Why don't you put a thermometer under your tongue? You're obviously delirious.
Come on, he's worth money. Look, come on, someone's moved him. Kate, I'm in no rush. I've got a fortnight to deliver him. I can wait here forever.
I think this skeleton's going to become a bone of contention.
Oh, very good. I haven't heard that one for at least 3 weeks. Let's get them all over with, shall we? You must love the bones of that skeleton. The NHS is getting cut to the bone. Pat, it's a skeleton staff.
Do you mind? I'm trying to read. Spare rib.
And how are you?
I was getting better.
Amazing, isn't it?
Go on, what's amazing with it?
You, the cause of it all. You walk away without a scratch and soft lad upstairs is on an urgent note.
Hardly a scratch. I think that's a slight understatement, Marie.
They should have knocked your block off.
You brought me any grapes?
I'd poisoned them first.
Do us a favour, will you, Marie? Come spread your sweetness and light somewhere else, will you?
All you gotta ask.
Rumour has it that George has appealed against his sentence. He wants life, you know, away from you.
Aren't you even gonna ask about him?
Nobody knows not until he comes out of the coma.
They suspect complications.
Nobody knows anything, Marie.
My God, the damage you've done to my family.
Oh, God.
Petra in an early grave. Michelle's fella practically a vegetable. My husband in prison.
Oh, can't someone get rid of this woman?
I'm staying.
All right, you stay then.
Oh, don't worry.
Oh, no, you stay and listen. You know your Petra. She was still warm in her grave and you were carving up her blood money, sending your kids to private school. And your George is in Nick because that wasn't enough for him. He had to go out and get more money, didn't he? And my best mate, Terry, is lying up in intensive care because we tried to do something. Not like you moaning and groaning about it. We tried to do something for your sticky-fingered husband.
Hiya. Grapes.
Vivian?
Yeah, you know, my skeleton.
Oh, yes. What were you doing with the skeleton, anyway?
I assemble them for students. Enables me to eat. Keeps me from turning into one myself.
Well, I haven't seen it, I'm afraid.
Oh, you sure?
Now, it's not something I would forget. These potatoes of yours,
Yeah?
well, they're not very good, are they?
Oh, you probably just got a bad bag, Annabelle. Well, I'll pass in a free bag later.
They've been washed.
Have they?
Yes. Washed and put back in the bag. Well, they may look good, but they rot in no time.
Oh, I'll have a word with my supplier. Well, you haven't seen him, then?
Your supplier?
No, Vivian.
Oh, Vivian's a male skeleton, is he?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen him. How do you know that he's a male skeleton?
The ribs. A woman has an extra one.
Oh. Why?
Oh, do you want the biological or the biblical?
Biological.
I haven't a clue. But the biblical, God makes Adam, right? Adam gets fed up playing with himself. I'll rephrase that, playing on his own. God decides to make Eve. Takes a rib out of Adam, makes Eve, but forgets to put the rib back in Adam.
Oh. So, men have been defective ever since?
And woman just a pleasant afterthought. I'll see you. Oh, Gordon wouldn't have taken him, would he?
Oh, no, I can promise you that.
He was a bit tipsy.
Tipsy or sober, Gordon wouldn't interfere with other people's property. No, I can assure you, in this house, there are no skeletons in our cupboard.
You know, Annabelle, I haven't heard that one for at least 2 weeks. I'll see you.
Bye.
Why should Erica recommend me?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Go on.
Why should Erica recommend me, and for a crucial job?
Well, why not? Heather, before we go on to discuss the job,
Yes?
you and Erica got on well.
Yes.
Why?
Oh, we just did. Can't explain it. We just did.
Then why don't we?
Pardon?
Why don't we get on well?
I wasn't aware that we
Oh,
didn't.
come on, now don't give me that. I confess, Heather, I do have a weird sense of humour, but not so weird that every time I crack a joke, you have to look as if you're getting a tooth pulled. Why can't we have an amiable, relaxed, working relationship just as you and Erica did?
Because you aren't Erica.
Well, there's not a lot I can do about that.
No. Erica helped me a great deal. She taught me a lot. But she wasn't as... Well, she wasn't quite as direct as you.
Directness is a virtue.
Well, if directness is a virtue, it could just be that they're lousy jokes.
Must you?
Half an hour, that's all.
We'll be eating soon.
Well, all the more reason to do this now.
Fail to see why you have to bring your work home with you anyway.
That landed on my desk today.
So?
£150 for the repair of a faulty pump. Add to that the amount lost in production, since the job was stretched out over 2 days, and you get some idea of the lunacy of maintaining our own maintenance team.
What can you do about it?
Preparing a paper for circulation to all managers, canvassing support for outside contractors for all maintenance work.
But what about your own men?
What about them?
Will they be out of work?
We're running a business, Anna, not a charity. Have you seen the typewriter, please?
How many jobs are involved?
Have you seen the typewriter, Anna?
Jobs are precious these
Anna,
days.
have you seen the typewriter, please?
In the garden shed.
Oh, naturally. What more logical place to keep the typewriter than the garden shed?
Well, there isn't room to swing a cat round in here.
So I'll give her some back.
George is innocent.
I'll see her. I'll tell her I didn't mean it.
No, I'll see her. I think you've said enough.
You all right?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes, of course.
The baby?
Fine.
Thanks for that, Mum.
How's Terry?
He's still the same.
Is it true?
What?
There might be some brain damage.
Haven't had a brain to damage, did he?
Poor lad.
How's the gang?
Fine. Karen and your dad are probably coming in to see you tonight.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah, and Damon and Gizmo have been asking after you.
Have they?
They want to know, can they use your season tickets? And is Terry likely to be in for the Derby game? Is it all over now, love?
What?
This McCardle business.
What more can they do to us?
I want you to tell me if it isn't, love, because I don't think I could take much more.
I've told you.
I'm not cheering you up like this, am I?
It's over, Mum. You come see us tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't know what time. I'll have to go to the clinic.
You went last week.
No, I'll go every week now.
Is anything wrong?
No, there's nothing wrong. It's you that's in hospital. We want you home again.
See you.
See you.
Hey, Mum. Brings in something decent to read, eh?
Anna?
You want me?
Yes.
What's that?
Something nasty in the woodshed?
You look as though you've seen a ghost.
Getting warm, Anna.
What is it?
A skeleton.
Oh, Vivian.
Erica tells me that you've never worked on the NSAOS account.
NSAOS? I'm afraid not.
Don't worry. In this case, it is a distinct advantage.
This is important.
Very. At least to our managing partner.
I thought all our accounts were important to the Great White Chief.
Ah, well, he has a personal interest in this one.
So when do I start?
Next week. I'm only mentioning it to you now so that you can clean up your diary for the next couple of weeks.
What about the file?
I'll give that to you tomorrow. I thought he would have finished with it himself by now, but, Right, well, tomorrow afternoon then.
Right, I'll see you and Howard then.
And his wife.
His wife?
She's chairperson or something. See you.
See you?
Oh, Vivian.
I believe that is its name, yes.
Oh, well, you'll want the Galloping Gourmet then. I'll go and get him. Pat!
Yeah?
You're wanted.
Thank you.
Oh, hello, Paul.
Hello?
Oh, you'll have to excuse me. I'm just rustling something up.
Bone marrow?
Trout with almonds and butter sauce.
Oh, sounds delicious. I suggest you set an extra place.
Hey?
I just met a friend of yours. Looks as though she could do with a good meal.
What?
Vivian.
Oh, Vivian. Well, Vivian's a male, as a matter of fact.
Oh, forgive me. There wasn't exactly a lot of evidence as regards sex.
Where is he?
In my garden shed.
What's he doing in there?
Not a lot, I can assure you.
Gordon.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, Gordon must have moved him.
My son does not interfere with other people's property.
Oh, he was drunk.
Gordon does not get drunk.
Well, tipsy then. He got tipsy and he took a fancy to the skeleton.
Oh. Well, that's rather a catalogue of crime, isn't it? Drunkenness, theft, and necrophilia. My son does not drink. My son does not steal. And his present companion happens to be a young lady with rather more flesh on her than your Vivian. I've looked it up, but it's really rather appropriate. It's a skeleton key.
Oh, Barry didn't mean what he said.
He meant it. It's been a day for own truth for me. A copper, your Barry.
He's upset about Terry.
Oh, Michelle's even more upset.
I doubt it. Oh, Barry just hides his feelings more.
He succeeds.
He's my son, Marie.
How are you?
All right. The baby. Touch wood. You?
I'm all right. Gotta be.
Is Michelle here?
She can't bear to look at him.
Does George know?
Not yet.
You could have done without this now, couldn't you? You've had your fair share.
Every time Lady Luck's knocked me down, I've got to my feet a bit tougher than before.
Yeah, we can get knocked down once too often.
I always bounce back. I've always had to.
Bob's picking me up if you want a lift.
Oh, no thanks. I've got to go to Betty's to fetch the kids.
I'll take you there.
No, thanks. I've got a few things to sort out. Thanks.
Trout and almonds in butter sauce.
So he said.
Would only give you your heartburn again, Paul.
Oh, it's only a pastry that gives me heartburn, Anna.
Only my pastry.
These potatoes all right?
Perfect.
Tastes a bit strange.
Perhaps it's because your taste buds are full of trout.
I mentioned trout and almonds in butter only because it might be a bit more adventurous than the usual.
Pray continue.
I think we've exhausted that particular topic, Anna.
Oh, I disagree, Paul. You were saying my meals are boring.
Is there any wine?
You were saying my meals are boring.
I was saying no such thing. I simply feel that with a little more time and imagination...
Time? And where do I find the time?
You'd hardly call yourself a hard-pressed housewife, Anna.
No. But there is a life outside these four walls, Paul. Anyway, I happen to pride myself on being a good cook. My meals may be boring, but they are edible. Clothes are clean. The house is spick and span.
Huh.
I beg your pardon.
Spick and span. There's been a skeleton in the garden shed for a week.
And since when has the garden shed been my responsibility?
May we have some wine?
Anyway, you know I don't like cleaning out the garden shed.
Oh.
Full of spiders.
I don't think it's unreasonable for me to expect you to pop in there occasionally and flourish the paradox.
Hello, Heather, come in. Thank you.
Spiders, like people, won't stay unless they're made welcome.
Have I come at a bad time?
Huh, of course not. Has she, darling?
What if Terry doesn't get any better?
He will.
You mightn't. Wouldn't you want to get even then?
And end up like you.
He'd look after you. Terry would want you to get even. Come on. Come on, who did it?
Fell off the back of a lorry.
A belated birthday present.
Oh, you shouldn't have bothered.
Why not?
Would you like some coffee?
No thanks, Annabelle.
Well, what is it?
Open it and see.
You sure?
I'm interrupting your meal, I know, I'm sorry.
Well, Paul was finding it very boring anyway.
Oh, Hannah.
Truth will out. Paul doesn't know it yet, but we're going to discuss employing a cleaner so that I can get out of the house and lead some sort of life of my own. Or maybe have time to concoct such delicacies as trout and almonds in butter sauce.
Oh.
Well, you did mention your favourite shirt was serving 6 months with George Jackson.
A white shirt, Anna. Just what I wanted.
Get the feeling I'm not wanted.
Do you?
Think I'll pop round and see your mate and then blow, eh?
Worried about him, are you?
Oh, aye, yeah. His health's a vital concern to me.
You couldn't give him no keys.
You can't see it, can you?
What?
You two signed statements. You put the finger on Victor.
Yeah.
Well, Victor isn't going to put his hand up, is he? He'll plead not guilty.
So?
So you're my star witness, sunshine. Look after yourself. See you in court.
I'm just tidying up from my last meeting. I won't be a moment. How are you?
Apprehensive.
I don't blame you.
Joyce, there's something in your tone.
Yes?
This really is important.
It's important enough for you to be reporting over my head direct to the managing partner.
You know something? I've never heard of NSAOS.
I'd keep that quiet if I were you.
Well, who are they?
Howard's wife thinks they are just about one of the most important organizations in the world of entertainment.
Really?
Anyhow, how's life in the big world outside?
Much the same as yesterday.
How's that architect you met the other week?
Stuart, he's a doctor, actually. I'm meeting him after work.
Oh, this won't take long. Going anywhere nice?
Playhouse and then for a meal.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it.
Well, you should be quite safe there. As my old mother used to say, how could a girl forget her pill when she could be under a doctor?
Nothing.
You come storming in the front, straight out the back, and you say there's nothing up.
Go in, Michelle.
It's still damp.
My kids. There's not one of them fit to lick their boots, and they can say that to my kids.
Oh?
I should never have sent them there.
Where?
That school. Do you know what they've been saying to my kids?
What?
Jackson's dad's a jailbird. Half of them have even godfathers. Gutter snipes, that's all they are.
So what are you going to do?
They're coming out. And they're going to stay out until George is out and all. And then I'm going to go down to that school with my head held high and blind the lot of them.
Hello, love.
What are you doing here?
Thanks, love. I've come to give you the lift home.
You're working.
It's all boxed up. How long are you going to be?
God knows the short staff.
Aren't they always nowadays?
I don't believe this.
What?
You never showed your face with the other three. It was get out in the bush, woman, and bring us a kid back.
Ah, well, this one's a bit special, isn't it? Anyway, you never know, might get the taste for this, and we could go in for another one.
Ah, Heather Havisham, Mrs. Drucker.
How do you do?
How do you do? Now I know why you spend so much time in the office.
I haven't filled Heather in on the details yet, Howard.
Oh, well, the NSAOS account has been with Hamilton and Devereux ever since I sat in Joyce's chair there, which is longer ago than I care to remember. And we always like to find one of our brightest people to look after our account.
Oh, I'm very flattered. NSAOS is very important in the entertainment business.
We like to think so.
Yes, I don't think Metro Goldwyn Mayer need be unduly worried, though.
What's next, then?
Blood pressure and weight.
Can we go, then?
No, then it's a blood test.
I thought you just had that.
That was a urine test.
What?
Midstream.
What do you mean?
Well, that's the sample you've got to give. Not the beginning, not the end, but the middle.
Well, when you start, you don't know when you're going to finish, do you?
No.
Well, how do you know when you're in the middle?
Shut up.
Oh, come on, how do you know? Oh, that's gay.
Don't you dare.
Has he got it in for me up there?
Will you just sit down for 5 minutes and have a cup of tea?
No. Oh, it was the calm before the storm, wasn't it? Everything going nice for once in our lives. And then bang. My husband in jail. Your fella practically a vegetable.
Marie.
Well, he is, isn't he? And my kids treated like lepers in a school I never wanted them to go to in the first place.
You're going to do yourself a damage if you go on like this.
They talk about a curse on the Kennedys. What about the Jacksons, eh?
Marie.
And the people who are doing it have got the cheek to give me down the banks. The copper that locked George up, Barry Grant, and now a bunch of scallies who are going to spend their lives on the dole calling my kid...
You need a rest. You're doing too much.
Well, who else is there to do it?
Go to Betty's. Keep the kids off school. Go to Betty's and have a rest.
What about you?
I'll manage. Phone.
Right, I'll go. But I'll go when Terry's on the mend. Then I will have me rest. But when I come back, by God, I'm not going to rest again until my husband's out of that jail.
That was the hospital on the phone. Terry's out the coma.
You fed up?
No.
You can go if you like.
No, I'm all right. You all right?
Yeah?
What's up?
Nothing.
Yes, it is. Now, come on, she.
Took the blood pressure 3 times.
Why is it up a bit?
Dunno. Probably just a nurse, only young. Probably didn't do it proper.
Yeah, well, he'd have told you, wouldn't he?
Yeah. It'll be all right. Just me worrying.
Can we go after you've had this blood test?
Yeah, well, we've got to see the doctor, then we can go. You are fed up, aren't you?
No, it's just...
What?
It's all these kids, isn't it? They're only kids and they're having kids. This makes me feel like an old man.
I felt like Grandma Moses when I first started coming. You just get used to it.
So you're going to have to come back every week then?
Well, I haven't got to. It's just best.
Did they say you've got to come back every week?
No, I just want to.
Well, why?
I just want to.
Well, there's nothing wrong, is there, Shirley?
No, there's nothing wrong. Go and have a walk.
No.
Go on. You'll have to phone our Karen anyway.
What for?
Tell her we'll be another hour. She's doing the tea.
Oh, my God, we'll all end up in hospital.
The what? Oh, the North Sands Amateur Operatic Society, established 1937 and audited by Hamilton and Devereux ever since.
I'll leave you my phone number and Lynn Dearman's. She's the honorary treasurer. Has to be.
It's the only way she can get a part, because she sings like a fingernail on a blackboard.
Thanks.
Mind, don't tell her I said that, whatever you do. We've been friends for years.
Oh, I won't.
Well, they'll meet tonight anyway.
Oh, yes, of course.
Pardon?
Well, Hamilton and Devereux don't charge us a penny, but you'll get something out of it.
2 tickets for tonight's performance. The Pirates of Penzance.
Tonight?
We saved you 2.
Actually, it's a bit difficult tonight. Could I go another
Oh,
night?
you won't get it another night. It's a sellout. You'll enjoy it enormously. I promise you.
I'm sure I shall.
Fourth time, this.
Hmm?
Fourth time it's been taken.
It was a little high last time. The nurse tells me your husband's with you.
Yes, he is.
I'd like to have a word with him as well.
Is there anything wrong, Doctor?
No, your blood pressure's just a little high, that's all.
It was high with the others as well.
Well, you were a bit fitter then.
Well, how high is it?
Honestly, I'm not over concerned, but... Well, I think it might be a good idea if you came in for a few days.
To stay in hospital?
For a rest. Say a week.
I've got a family, Doctor.
Mrs. Grant, the more your family depends on you, the more reason to get away for a few days. You need to rest.
I couldn't rest.
How old is your youngest?
16.
I'm sure this little one needs more looking after than a 16-year-old.
Mrs. Drucker thinks that you're charming. Well? You're obviously speechless. Your first big break, it can have such an effect.
The North Sands Amateur Operatic Society.
It's been the bane of my life for the last 6 years, trying to find someone to out their grubby little receipts for £1.80 for replenishing Santa's beard Christmas God knows when.
We don't even charge them.
No?
Why do we do it?
Well, he's the managing partner. Anyway, it's charity. We like to do our bit. Kind of milk of magnesia for corporate indigestion.
The Pirates of Penzance.
You are going.
Oh, do I have any choice?
No.
Will it be any good?
Dreadful.
It's sold out.
Oh, other members, family, friends, 1 or 2 masochists.
Now, what am I going to tell Stuart?
Your doctor? Well, it's a play about a private medical practice.
Set somewhere in Cornwall.
Oh, he bought the tickets for the playhouse. Well, I'll use them if you like. I'm meeting someone myself tonight. I suppose that's as good a place as any.
Will they be in his name, Griffith?
Oh, you'll have much more fun.
You do have a weird sense of humour.
Enjoy yourself. Heather?
Yes?
Obviously, I had to find someone for that damn job, but I haven't totally landed you in it.
I'm afraid all the evidence would point to that.
Perhaps. But you will be working directly to the managing partner.
Think that's a good thing?
Oh, of course. Your chance to impress and all that.
The chance to impress is an inbuilt risk, Joyce.
What's that?
I may make a bad impression.
Do you think you will?
There's always a possibility.
Anyway, it's the North Thames Amateur Operatic Society, not Spielberg Enterprises. We'll have a drink sometime.
Yeah, let's do that. There's an office function next week.
Oh, I never go to those.
Or we can leave early if it's boring.
We'll be expected to bring our partners.
Is that a problem?
Afraid so. Slight problem.
What about this man tonight? You not drag him along?
Oh, now that definitely wouldn't make a good impression. No, we'll have a drink on our own sometime. Bye.
Bye.
Doctor wants me to stay in for a few days.
Why?
Blood pressure's up.
Oh, well, if that's what he says.
He was up over the others.
I know, but you were a lot younger then, weren't you?
If anybody else says that to me, I'll floor him.
Come on, Shane, come on.
Sorry.
It must happen to loads of women. Probably just a precaution.
It's not that. I know this baby's going to be all right. I just know it. I've got a family, Bob.
But we can look after ourselves.
What, egg, chips and beans?
But she'd probably throw an house sausage in now and again. Oh, come on. You've left us on our own before, haven't you?
Yeah, well, that was different. Our Damon wasn't on the dole, and our Barry...
Go on, our Barry what?
Our Barry wasn't in hospital.
He'd be out of hospital before you were. I don't know. He's done nothing but worry us for years. And even now, while you're like this, he's still at it.
I'm not worrying about him.
Oh, I'm sure you're not.
Sorry to catch you.
It's all right, Doctor.
Thank you. Mrs. Grant's told you?
Yeah.
She needs looking after. You and the family are just going to have to realise that.
I wanted to stay in, Doctor.
Oh, I'm sorry. A rise in blood pressure is quite common.
He knows.
Has Mrs. Grant been worrying over anything lately?
Yeah, but you don't need to worry about it, Doctor. Won't happen again.
Think I'd better go away.
Celia's gone to see you. Some people never learn.
Yeah, well, you'll be all right here, Millie. He can't talk back.
How is he?
Can't talk.
How are you, Terry?
Can hear you.
Can you hear me? Oh, God love him.
Has the doctor been? Well, why not? Terry.
Oh, God love him.
Terry.
Hey, come on, it's all right. He's only gone to sleep. They always do that when they first come round.
Will you bring me white cotton one in as well?
Yes.
That way I can wash one and still have one to wear.
Why don't they supply them anymore?
Hospital nighties. I'm not wearing them.
Well, you did over our Damon.
Only because my own was a disgrace. We were skint. Oh, and tell our Karen not to tell the butcher that I'm in hospital, otherwise he'll palm her off with anything. And it's still fish on Friday, tell her.
Yes.
Bob, it's over and done with.
Yeah?
What are you thinking of doing?
I'm going to talk to him.
Bob.
Sheila, he needs telling.
When?
Tonight.
Celia's going in tonight.
Well, that doesn't matter. It won't take long.
Can't you wait till he comes out of hospital at least?
No.
Well, what good's it gonna do?
It's going to make me feel a lot better.
Oh, yeah, make you feel a lot better.
Sheila, for God's sake, it's him that's making you feel ill.
And what are you doing right now?
Look, is that ready?
Yeah. You see Father Daly, will you ask him if he can spare a few minutes on Sunday? They've got priests here, but I'd rather want to know. Please don't see our Barry.
Is everything here?
Please.
Sheila, I don't want to argue about it anymore because it's not doing you any good, OK?
Well, it's doing me no good worrying about it. If you don't see him, I won't worry. Leave it till he comes out.
Oh, all right.
Promise.
Promise.
What do you want?
Just wait until you two go,
Why?
so I can go and sit with him.
Fancy the nurse, do you?
Yeah, all right.
Well, he's unconscious again anyway.
Was that when you went in, was it? One look at you, did he go straight out?
Funny.
Yeah, isn't it? Look, Marie, I know you aren't going to believe this.
Go on.
I know Georgie's innocent. I'm sorry for what I said, you're all right.
You're right. I don't believe it. Hey.
What now?
If you're really sorry, prove it.
How am I going to do that?
Get McCardle. Tell the coppers that McCardle did that.
I think you're the one whose brain's damaged, my age, you know.
Right on cue.
Hi.
Have a good day.
You know, I'm not quite so sure. And you?
Oh, over the past couple of days, I have become an expert on the effects of bangers going off in kids' pockets. Same every year, same firework lunacy. I need a drink.
Oh, well, we'll get one on the way.
Ah,
What's wrong?
I've got a confession to make.
Yeah?
I couldn't get the tickets. Every time I phoned, it was engaged, and when I did get through, sold out. What's so funny? What's so funny?
This afternoon, I swore I'd get even with someone, and I am. Because right now, that person's queuing up at the Playhouse demanding tickets in the name of Stuart Griffiths. It's a long story, I'm sorry. What was your plan B?
Soft lights, slow music, and a diminishing bottle of booze. I could do without the slow music. I could even do without the soft lights.
Without all three, I'm afraid. There won't even be a bar where we're going.
Where's that?
To see the North Sands Amateur Operatic Society's version of the Pirates of Penzance.
You're joking.
Stuart, I wish I was.
We don't need to go that far. The Hospital Drama Society are doing Gilbert and Sullivan. Everyone's doing Gilbert and Sullivan these days.
Why?
Well, it had a copyright for one thing. Oh, tell me you're joking.
All right, I'm joking. It's a play about a private medical practice, set somewhere in Cornwall.
You okay, then? I'm gonna miss you, you know.
Will you?
Of course I will.
I'll miss you. I hate sleeping on my own.
So do I. Mind you, I think I'll get someone in while you're away.
You won't, you know. I'm not having any mess on my bedroom carpet.
Hey?
Well, she'd have to have a guide dog, wouldn't she?
I'll see you, eh?
See you. Forget about our Barry for now, love.
I've promised you, haven't I? Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.
Going on tonight?
No.
Why not?
No one to go with, is there?
You and Michelle?
You're joking. Michelle's worried sick.
Yeah, well, you'll be all right now.
Barry, have you told the police?
Did you bring us anything?
No.
It's a bit tight, isn't it?
There wasn't any time. Have you?
Have a what?
Told the police.
No. Well, if they kill us next time...
If you told the police, there wouldn't be a next time.
You're joking, aren't you?
If you don't, it's all going to happen again.
You mean if I do, it's all going to happen again, don't you?
How could it? They'd lock him up. He couldn't get to you.
You just pay someone else to do it for him. Look, you're asking me to tell the police about McCardle. You might as well hit me over the head with a sledgehammer.
We can't run a business with the likes of McCardle breathing down our necks.
Yeah, so we just ignore him and he'll leave us alone.
You know Ted Palmer?
Yeah.
He came round to fix the shop up.
Did he?
He said he'd always been involved with the likes of McCardle, and he always will.
Yeah, well, tell him I'll take his flaming head off next time you see him, will you? What now?
That's all you know, isn't it? Someone says something you don't like and your only answer's a threat.
Yeah, well, that's all Teddy Palmer understands.
You're as bad as McCardle.
Oh, give it a rest, will you? Come and take a walk, Celia. You're supposed to be cheering me up.
I've got thousands wrapped up in that business. I'm not just going to let it slide.
Is that all you're thinking about, eh? Money?
You're a hypocrite and a half, you are. The only thing that got you involved with McCardle in the first place was money. Easy money. And it's through that I'm going to lose mine.
Oh, change the subject, will you? Try asking how I am. That's what you're supposed to do when you come into hospital to visit someone, you know.
Everyone says you're going to be fine, I've asked. Oh, I better go.
You've only just got here.
It's no use me staying if we're going to fight.
You're the one that's fighting. Where's Michelle?
She's with Terry.
Suppose she's got a cob on with me.
What do you think?
It was his fault. He was the one that wanted to tell the busies, you know.
You've led him by the nose for years. Michelle knows that. Even I know that. He's half dead now because of you.
What would you rather be, eh? Would you rather me be in intensive care, eh?
Would, wouldn't you? No. Look, me and Michelle talked for hours yesterday. It turns out that when we heard one of you was in intensive, she was praying it was you and I was praying it was Terry. So no, I wouldn't want to see you down there and him up here. But it would have been a hell of a lot fairer that way. I'm going to go and see him.
Carried these cases 500 miles. We're 6 yards away from home, and now you ask me.
500 miles? They were on the plane most of the time.
Oh, hurry up and make a brew, will you?
Oh, now I know we're home.
Not before time. Up at 5, and that courier, he bullied us into being at the airport 2 hours before we should have been.
He didn't bully. He was a charming young man.
He still had us up at 5, didn't he?
Well, that wasn't his fault. There was a corridor over Switzerland.
Oh, don't pretend you know what you're talking about.
I do know. It was the French traffic controllers. The pilot told me when I went to look in the cockpit.
An old woman like you wanting to look in the cockpit.
Well, I was interested. You could have looked as well if you hadn't been afraid about holding onto the seat.
Me? Ex-commando, train driver, boxing champion.
You were never a commando.
There's some things a man can't even tell his wife. That just slipped out. Forget about that till 1990.
You're talking rubbish, Harry Cross.
There was things happened during the war that can't be revealed until 1990. It's the official secret act.
It's the cheap wine and the brandy on the plane.
Have you got your key?
It's in the case with me English money.
In your case?
Well, I didn't want to lose it.
Good job I've got mine, isn't it? Ex-commando, be prepared.
That's the Boy Scouts. You weren't prepared to get a taxi.
Not at those prices, I wasn't. And look at all this mail here.
Pensions go up this month, it would have been worth it.
Those increases are meant for little luxuries like English food and English tea, not for taxis. Make a cup of tea, will you, Edna?
I was going to say I'd miss room service, but you wouldn't, would you?
I'll get the letters.
What are you up to?
Breathing exercises. 25 and I'm knackered.
Must be the company you keep.
Not me age. The number I've done. Doctor says I should do at least 50.
You've only just come out of the hospital. You don't want to be overdoing it.
Well, there's nothing else to do, is there?
Oh, yes, there is. There's no need to look like that. It's only an afternoon's work.
Well, what is it?
Cleaning the garage out.
All right, Dad, I'm supposed to be recuperating.
Cleaning the garage out isn't as hectic as them exercises you've just been doing.
What's up with you, eh?
I've just took the car out for the service. And the mechanic reckons he can tell people who've got a garage and people who haven't. And he thinks I haven't.
Well, it's not your car anyway.
No, it's the union's car.
Yeah, well, if it's the unions, get the unions to clean the garage then.
No, you can do it. Your mother's coming out of hospital tomorrow and I want everything just right.
Well, she's not bothered if the garage is tidy, you know.
I am. Anyway, you can earn today's keep by doing it.
Oh, look, I don't mind giving you a hand to do it.
Who? I'm going to an early meeting. George Williams is picking me up. Oh, come on, Barry, lad. It's not very often I ask you to do anything.
It's a bit unethical, isn't it?
You are?
Unethical? I mean, I'm not supposed to be working in the shop, so I shouldn't be working at home, should I?
Unethical from you? I would have thought you thought that ethics was the next county to Thothics.
I'm supposed to be going to see Terry.
I thought you went earlier.
Yeah, I have.
Don't tell me you're going again, or is cleaning the garage out turning you into some sort of Florence Nightingale?
All right, stop going on about it, eh? I got a good hiding as well, don't forget.
I haven't. I've tried to, but I can't.
How do you mean?
Look, how is Teddy?
Well, his broken bone's the least of his worries. He's got problems with his ears and his balance. I think it was that bang on the side of the head that did it.
Is some of that damage going to stay with him, is it?
Well, they don't know yet. It's too early to tell.
You're a pair of idiots, you two, getting mixed up with lunatics like that.
Well, thanks for the sympathy.
Barry, if you'd have come home from work injured or from playing football, you'd have had all the sympathy in the world, son, and all the help. But when it's through mixing with garbage like McCardle, and when a poor lad like George Jackson ends up in jail because of you...
It wasn't because of me.
Oh, technically it wasn't. But we know different, don't we, son?
No, what? It was the busies that screwed George up, certainly not me. Me and Terry got battered for trying to play the white man, remember?
Look, lad, I'm going to put my shirt on before George Williams comes. Will you just make a start on the garage, will you?
Hello, Barry.
All right.
Heard you took quite a beating. How are you now?
Well, I'm not too bad, thanks. It's not something I'd recommend, though.
And Terry's still in hospital?
Yeah, he'll be in for a while, I think.
I know it's none of my business, but is it connected with George Jackson?
Well, like you say, it's not really your problem, is it?
I'm sorry.
No, well, what it was, we tried to help George out, and, well, we upset somebody, that's all.
I see. I am sorry. Will George be appealing against his sentence?
Well, he might as well, mightn't he?
God, it all seems like a bad dream.
I wish it all had been.
Never mind, you're on the mend.
Yeah, where do we go from here, though?
Sorry?
Oh, nothing. You're off to work, are you?
Yeah, well, I've been at work all morning. Now I'm off on a special assignment.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
It isn't. I've drawn the short straw. So I'm off to audit the books on a local amateur operatic society.
Oh.
Exactly. It's called number crunching. You just add up rows and rows of figures and hope all the pluses and minuses balance. Anyway, I better get off.
Right.
I'll see you.
Ta-ra.
Do you want some?
I don't know why you bought them, Muck.
There's a souvenir of that little village where they made it.
That's no more made there than Eccles cake come from Eccles.
It is. The courier said so.
I saw as daft Davids like you would buy it. There was no factory there in the village.
They made it in the houses in the traditional Spanish way.
Comes by tanker more like it, and they tell you they made it there.
It was a lovely little village, and they made us so welcome.
And so they should. We all gave them money.
There's no romance in you, Harry Cross. It was a lovely mystery trip into the sunset.
Mystery trip? That courier takes 3 coaches a week there. I bet he makes a fortune in backhanders.
We didn't have to stop there. It was just by chance.
Chance may I. The courier gets on the microphone and says, "Shall we all stop at the next little beautiful village where I believe they sell beautiful, delicious local liquor?"
A lovely village.
He'd have fell through the coach if we'd all have shouted no. I asked Sheila Grant to move any free newspapers that were pushing out the letterbox. You'd think she would have put these on the table instead of leaving them behind the door, wouldn't you?
How many more slaves do you want?
Hello, what's this? Somebody else has been away. Well, I've seen the lot. You sending us cards from our holiday.
What's wrong with that?
You're supposed to send them to other people.
It's just a memento, that's all.
And it's that flaming village. How much did they con you out of for this?
Was that a competition?
A free rover. Trip to Barbados. Free entry. Cost us a fortune.
What do you want to do that for? I like competitions, especially free ones.
Now it's free. Especially electricity. That means they'll have had one next door.
For the Grants?
No, at our house. I'll nip round and see.
You can't go barging in.
It's our house.
It's their home.
Well, seeing as they're nurses, I'll go round and tell them I'm not feeling well.
Jet lag?
Indigestion, all that foreign food. Then I'll talk them round to the bills.
I'm going to ring Ralph and Grace.
What for?
To thank them for a cheap holiday. If it hadn't been for their generosity, we wouldn't have had one, would we?
And we wouldn't have come back to all these bills, would we? Hope those nurses have been turning those lights off.
Come in, George, lad. I won't keep you a minute.
So you've got Barry at it?
Oh, I haven't dared look. Is he still in the garage?
Yeah. Doesn't look very happy, though.
Well, he's going to have to learn to buckle down. Mind you, I don't know what to, though.
I thought he was doing well at this tool hire business.
So did I. He had a great opportunity there, you know. And he was knocking around with a decent girl for a change. In fact, everything seemed to be going sound, and then bang, the roof fell in.
The roof of the shop?
No, what's it, you know.
Oh, metaphorically.
Then they're beaten up in the court case. He's going to have to get himself sorted out.
Well, you know, he seems a decent lad deep down. He'll find his place sometime or other.
He'll have to be soon. I can't have Sheila worrying about him all the time. And what with this new baby, that's going to be work enough as it is. You ready, lad?
Sure.
This going to take long?
Not too long from what I've read on it. It's cut and dried.
What? An unfair dismissal?
No, a very fair one. You've done enough warnings. Management have played it fair and square, this one.
Well, listen, if you've got time, you'll end up in the hospital to see Sheila.
Why not? While you're there, I'll pop into the Red Dragon across the road.
Hello? Anyone in?
Sit down, Heather.
Thank you.
I believe you went to see the fiasco of a show the other night.
Oh, I rather enjoyed it.
To be fair, Lynn, it wasn't bad at all. Lynn had hoped to produce this year, but the committee didn't think she was up to it.
I'd have made a better job of it than Sylvia. The only thing she's produced before was her Christopher, and look how he's turned out, the brat.
You may get a chance next year, if you survive your books being scrutinized by Heather.
Did your husband enjoy the show?
He didn't go.
You're divorced, aren't you?
Separated.
Footloose and fancy-free.
Hardly. I find my work takes up an awful lot of my spare time.
And we're wasting time chatting. Get the books, Lynn.
Let her finish her tea. Nothing worse than working class made good, eh, Heather?
I'm sorry. I did shout. I thought there was nobody in. It's about my stomach. Are you all right? Hey, are you all right?
surprised you know what fear is, being an ex-commando.
There's fear and fear. And after what I've just seen, there's many a man would have dropped dead. Oh, that's worse than the other stuff. Haven't we got any British drinks?
Water?
Oh, give me strength. Are you going over to tell them? Or should I risk losing my temper?
Tell who what?
About the coven in our house. It's got to stop or out they go.
There was nothing in the questionnaire about witches.
This is serious.
It is. You could get done for burglary.
Well, what are we going to do about it?
Well, I'm going to ring Ralph and Grace. I couldn't get any answer before.
I see. I'm on my own in this, am I?
Don't make such a fuss.
Don't make such a fuss. There was a skeleton up in the bedroom. And there was a silver ball with sticks in the living room.
Next time you go breaking in, you want to take a crucifix with you and a clove of garlic.
Garlic. I had enough garlic in Spain.
There's no answer. Do you think they have seances? I've always fancied going to one.
I expect this seems trivial to you after working with huge sums of money.
Oh, it's just about the same, really. Pounds or hundreds of thousands. Just comes down to where the decimal point is.
Don't you wish you could do all that, Lynn?
What do you mean, wish? I've done it. The books are easy to understand. Aren't they, Heather?
Yes, fine.
You're far too polite.
I think you should try the treasurer's job. See how good you are.
I've no head for figures. No need to, when Howard has.
Well, somebody will, if I'm producing next year.
Keep your voice down, Lynn, or Gilbert and Sullivan will be turning in their graves.
There's a mark here I don't understand.
Probably a gin stain.
It's a subtotal.
Oh, yes, I see now. What procedure did you follow for using the subtotal?
Nothing formal. I went to secretarial school some time ago and I suddenly remembered something they told us about subtotals.
Were you a quill monitor, Lynn?
It wasn't that long ago.
I am the very model of a modern secretarial. My drinks are gin and sherry and very rarely mineral.
Never realised how much it cost to stage a show like this.
Oh, a fortune. Why, the costumes alone.
That's why we can only do one a year. Well, that's why the doily cart closed.
Yes. Well, their estates, at least. More tea, anyone?
Yes, please.
Well, that didn't take long, George. I didn't think it would, man. You didn't have a leg to stand on. Sickness, lateness, going home for all kinds of excuses. He's just a hopeless case, Bobby. The kind of man who gives unions a bad name because you have to try to fight to save their jobs, even though they don't do a thing to help themselves.
The shop steward was a good lad, though.
Oh, what? He almost had me convinced that the company were at fault.
Yeah, he was only young as well.
Early 20s. And yet, once he realised it was a lost cause, he accepted the realities of the situation. None of this crazy talk about strikes and all the like. Sensible lad, that. We'll keep an eye on him.
Do you know him?
I saw him speak at a rally on behalf of the miners recently. Oh, usual stuff. The evil woman trying to run the country like a corner shop. If 15 out of 20 pits made a profit, they should subsidise the other 5. You know, the usual stuff. Oh, but man, his heart was in it.
Yeah, seemed a nice, genuine lad. Mind you, this government would love to see the pits back in private ownership. I'm sure of that.
Maybe, Bobby, maybe. Privatisation is something they're very fond of. And it's spreading to grassroots in its fashion.
How do you mean?
Did you hear the rumour that Petrochem may start using outside contractors for maintenance?
No. There's a chap lives in our close. He's the manager there.
Paul Collins. Do you know him well?
Well, he's a neighbour, but I wouldn't say he was a mate of mine, if you know what I mean.
But you could have a word with him about it.
I could, George, but I won't.
Why not?
Because he is a neighbour.
Pity, seems too good to miss. Be nice to be one step ahead of them for the change.
All right, George, all right, you devious Welsh so-and-so.
Oh, race relations now, Bobby. You can call me a so-and-so, but not a Welsh one.
Do you really want me to sound him out?
Well, if Petrochem do take in outside contractors, a lot of our members could stand to lose their jobs. That's not too much to ask now, is it, Bobby? Think of the fire in the belly of the young shop steward back there. Oh, I bet that was Bobby Grant once.
That evolution lives while you're around, George. OK, lad, I'll see what I can do.
Good man. Still want to call in Sheila?
Yes, please. Just to make sure she is coming out tomorrow.
Do you take a lot of work home?
As little as possible. Something like this is best worked out on the kitchen table.
But you can follow it all, can't you?
I wasn't criticising your methods. It's just that one gets used to one's own environment.
I'm sure you know what's best.
And you've got everything you need?
Yes, I'm sure everything's going to be fine.
Don't hesitate to ring if there's any query.
I won't. Thank you.
Goodbye, Heather. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye, Heather.
You should be doing that in the bedroom.
You should be doing that in the bedroom. Anyway, there's no room in here for unpacking. There's no room anywhere compared with that lovely hotel.
That's what you go on holidays for, to appreciate your own home.
Or see it with fresh eyes, cramped and pokey.
Now, don't start that. You wanted the place.
Now, don't blame me just because it's too small.
I never said it was too small. It's all the rubbish that's scattered about.
It isn't rubbish. It's souvenirs and presents.
And what possessed you to buy a leather cover for the TV Times, I'll never know.
I like them. Ralph and Grace have got one.
But we don't buy the TV Times.
Well, we will do now.
And the ornamental crossbow. What made you buy that?
To put on the wall. Or I might put an apple on your head when you're dozing. Test me accuracy.
Don't you do that when I'm nodding off. I've had enough shocks for one day. You aren't ringing them up again, are you?
If there's no answer, do you think we should go round?
No, I don't. Don't you think I'm worn out enough, what with those cases and the flaming skeleton?
I can't wait to thank them.
Did you buy them anything?
Of course I did. A tablecloth and some of that liqueur from the village.
They won't thank you. Not for that stuff, anyway.
They will. What did you do with the skeleton?
Well, I didn't stop to introduce myself, I can tell you that. I just scarpered.
You'd no right to be in there anyway.
It's our house, and they've got a lot of explaining to do. A lot of explaining.
How are you feeling?
As well as can be expected.
I thought you were going to finish the garage off and go down and visit Terry.
Yeah, well, I'm injured, aren't I?
When will Terry know if he's got any permanent injuries or not?
I don't know.
No, and I don't think you care either.
Of course I care. My best mate, isn't he?
Sometimes I wonder if you know what the word care means, lad.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, you're that wrapped up in yourself lately. There's no room in there for anybody else.
I've been tidying up all afternoon. Why are you getting on to me, eh?
Look, forget it, will you, son? I don't want to fall out. I just want to have a nice little serious talk with you, all right? Is that fresh tea you've made?
Yes. So what's brought all this on?
I just think the time's right.
You're throwing me out, are you?
Don't talk stupid, will you, lad?
So what is it then, Dad?
Look, your mother's coming out of hospital tomorrow and she's been under a lot of pressure. I can't afford for her to be under anymore. That's just one thing.
What's another thing, eh?
You. I happen to be worried about you.
I can take care of myself, thank you.
Can you? Well, you can't carry on the way you have been doing, son, because you're getting nowhere fast. I mean, what do you want to do? What do you want to be?
I want to be a millionaire.
Barry, you're 25 years of age, lad.
All right, I want to be a 25-year-old millionaire.
Oh, aye? And how are you going to do that? By turning to petty crime? Or are you going to try and get in the big league with Tommy McArdle? He might be able to show you how to beat people up like he beat you up and Terry, who could end up being deaf.
I'm not to do with McArdle, Dad.
Look, lad, look. I don't want to fall out and I don't want a slanging match. You're my son, and I'm just trying to help you.
How can you help me, eh? You can't even get our Damon a job.
Look, I've told you, I don't want to fall out with you.
Then get off me back, Dad.
Well, someone's got to do something. Someone's got to shake it up for your own good.
But that's already happened, or have you forgotten about that, eh?
What, by thugs? Listen, I was at a meeting earlier today, right? And I was listening to a shop steward younger than you, putting up one of the best defences I've ever heard for a scallywag worker. And do you know why?
No, I don't know why.
Because he cared. Because he knew where he was going. And that's all I'm saying to you. For God's sake, look to the future, or you'll end up with a wasted life.
Is that it, eh?
No, it isn't. That's it! Because that's all you understand!
You know, if you weren't my dad, I'd tear you apart for that.
Yeah, do you know if I wasn't your dad, then maybe you couldn't manage it. Here we are. Home sweet home.
Thank you. It's going to you.
You heard the doctor. You've got to take it easy.
I can open a car door for myself. Oh, I get it.
Get what?
You're preparing me for the state the house is in.
That house is like a new pen.
I'll bet. Where's the tribe?
Karen's at school. Damon's down the job centre.
Hello.
Nice to have you home.
Oh, it's nice to be home, wherever state it's in.
Hey, the house is lovely. Even the garage.
Oh, it's good to see you.
Sorry I couldn't get down last night, Mum. Something cropped up.
It's all right. How are you, anyway?
Oh, mustn't grumble.
Oh, you going back to the office after you've had your dinner?
Afraid so. I'll just get you something to eat first.
Oh, I bet there's nothing in.
No, I'm going to nip down and Chippy. What you want?
Anything. After hospital food, anything that tastes good.
Won't be long.
What about our Barry?
Oh, yeah. What do you want?
Fish and chips will do.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, of course it is. Come put your feet up, man.
Is that the construction audit?
Yes, I've nearly finished.
Any problems?
Yes, there seems to be an anomaly on site supervision payments on the latest report.
Oh, last month's was all right.
I've checked the contract. It's rather ambiguous. I think the client should be informed so they can add an amendment to clarify it.
Well, what does the contract say?
Site supervisors can only receive overtime payments after they've worked a 45-hour week or a 9-hour day.
Well, that's quite straightforward, isn't it?
No, with them working away from home, they book every other Friday and Monday off, getting a long weekend and then work through the following weekend.
And get paid overtime?
Yes.
Yes, but they must lose out the weeks that they take the days off.
No, they take them as holidays quite legitimately. It happened mainly in the summer.
And does the amount of money come higher than the review level you're working to?
Not on a review of the weekly payroll for the individual sites, it doesn't.
So it isn't really your worry?
I still think the client should be informed. Over a long contract, it's going to amount to something quite sizable.
How much would you estimate?
100,000, give or take £1.
What?
It's a large staff, large salaries over a long period of time. Granted, it peaks in the summer, but it's still going to be enough to matter.
I should say so. And what's the review level that you're working to?
It's £1,000 on the payroll. That's with variances to the average. It has to be that because of all sorts of monthly adjustments.
So it could quite easily have slipped through?
Probably not. But then it could have been picked up at the end of the year. This way, they're going to sort it out before too much money goes out of the kitty.
Oh, they'll be pleased with you, Heather. Now all you've got to do is write the report.
Yes, but before I do that, I'm going to finish the big one.
The Operatic Society?
Yes, Joyce, the Operatic Society. I'm never going to forget you for this.
Forget or forgive?
Both.
How's it going?
I've almost found a system for using the subtotal. Seems boredom might be an important factor.
Boredom?
It's the only method I can find. Every now and then a subtotal pops up. Sometimes she uses an asterisk, and sometimes a tick, and sometimes nothing at all.
Oh.
Exactly. And I think I may have found an anomaly in those accounts as well.
What is it, the great tea money swindle?
Something like that.
Really? Tell me more.
No, not until I rang a friend to confirm it.
Who's the friend?
Stuart.
Oh, your young doctor friend.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going with him?
I'll let you know after the phone call.
Right. See you later then.
Stuart? Hi, it's Heather. Oh, I'm fine, thank you. And you? Good. No, it's a business call. You remember the other night you were saying about people putting on a lot of Gilbert and Sullivan, yeah? And you said they were popular because they were out of copyright.
I tell you what, we'll both go round. And if you see a rage building up in me, you can calm me down, eh?
I'm having nothing to do with it. You chose them as tenants. You drew up the agreement. You're their landlord.
It was you that wanted the bungalow.
And it was you that bought it because you didn't want Ralph and Grace living next door.
I bought it for you because I wanted to buy it for you.
Huh.
And now that's the thanks I get. I've got to face him alone.
You sound like Gary Cooper.
Well, you're no Grace Kelly. See, I'm going now to see Sheila Grant.
Why?
Because I'm not happy the way she's been looking after our house. I'm going to see what's going on.
She's not your skivvy. You should go round there with a present, not criticism.
I enjoyed that.
Good for you. Well, put your feet up now, Queen.
Oh, don't fuss. I'm going to be all right. So, what's been going on here, then, while I've been away?
How do you mean?
Nothing. Well, something must have been going on, and I don't just mean poor old George Jackson. I mean, has anybody attempted to do the washing? Do I need to stock up with food? Have the beds been made for the last week?
Look, everything's sound. Don't be worrying. Anyway, I've got to get back to work. Somebody's got to put the country back on its feet.
Late or early?
Hard to say. Oh, by the way, we could have a bit of trouble with the management of Petrochem. You know where Paul Collins works? George Williams has asked me to sound him out.
Paul Collins? Where are you going to meet him, then? In the Swan Bar?
I shouldn't think so. Might be in the lounge. See you when I see you.
See you, love. You two had words. You didn't say one word to each other.
Not much to talk about, is there? Just glad to have you home, Mum.
I'm glad to see you home as well. So how is everything?
How do you mean?
I mean, how is everything? It's a straightforward question. How's Terry? How's Celia? How's the shop?
Terry's got problems with his ears, Mum. They don't know if it's going to be permanent yet.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Have the police done anything yet about getting the thugs that did it?
They won't catch him, Mum.
No, because you won't cooperate with them.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to put an end to it.
That's not putting an end to it. That's letting them get off scot-free.
Yeah, but that's the way it is, man. I mean, we went and told the police about George and Victor and got a good hiding for our trouble.
Yeah, you were beaten up, seriously injured. Terry might be permanently injured. They can't just get away with that.
Yes, they can, and they will. I mean, what do you think would have happened to me if I'd have told the police about McArdle?
They'd have been put in prison.
Possibly, yeah. But I'll tell you what would have happened for definite, man. McArdle would have got 2 more loonies, and I'd have ended up in 3 hospitals. My brains in Walton, my legs in Wiston, the rest of me in the Royal. And God knows what else would have happened, man. They might have come round here and done something to you, or the house, or one of the rest of the family.
My God, what kind of a world are you mixed up in?
One that I don't like very much, man.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Oh, I shall miss you, Vivian. Though I must admit, you have got me wondering a bit about last night. Well, I mean, you can't move yourself, can you? And Sandra and Kate swear they didn't swivel that chair around. So, what's the answer? Who is responsible for this bit of skullduggery? A bona fide person, or somebody who hasn't a leg to stand on, who could be harmless? I'll tell you what, I'd like to find out who. Because I've a bone a bit with him.
Perfectly reasonable explanation. Edna? What's up?
I've just been speaking to Ralph. It's Grace.
Grace? How is she?
Dead and buried.
When?
When we were on holiday in that lovely little village. Oh, Harry, I feel so awful about it. We were on their holiday.
Get that down, yeah.
Thanks.
It'll do you good.
I still can't believe it.
Pneumonia, eh?
After a fall,
They buried her pretty quick, didn't they? 2 days.
the co-op had a cancellation.
How could they have a cancellation? Did somebody come back to life?
Don't be stupid. I wasn't going to question Rolf over the phone, was I?
How is he?
Upset, naturally.
Did you give him my deepest sympathy?
Of course I did.
Well, I didn't like the woman much, but that's got nothing to do with it now.
What a terrible thing to say.
Well, it's true, isn't it? Oh, well, I can't be doing with all this when a person's dead how great they were.
Don't talk like that.
It's just hypocrisy. It doesn't say because I didn't like Grace, I don't feel sorry for him. He must have liked her.
He worshipped her.
No, he didn't. Don't exaggerate.
Worshipped, that's the word. Looked after her in sickness and in health. He's a good man, Ralph.
He looked after her, but don't be making him out a saint.
Not many men would have put up with what he did.
He did what he had to do. Most husbands would. Just because they don't have to doesn't make them any less husbands.
There were times when he had to do everything for her. Everything.
Well, as I say, most men would.
It'll be in the paper.
Well.
That we didn't go to the funeral.
Well, it's hardly News at 10 material, is it?
Where they print the list, mourners were. We won't be on it. People are bound to notice. And when they know that we were on their holiday... Oh, Harold.
Doesn't matter what people think. Ralph knows the score. It only matters what he thinks.
Can't help feeling guilty.
But Ralph won't bear any grudges. I mean, he was nice to you on the phone, wasn't he?
Of course he was.
Well, then, there you are. What did you say to him?
Well, I just gave him our deepest sympathy.
You didn't make any promises, did you? Like they normally do at funerals.
We didn't go to the funeral.
You know what I mean. You'll always find our door open. Never be without money or anything. And if ever you need a friend, you know where I am. You know, that rubbish.
Well, as a matter of fact...
Oh, here we go.
Harry, the poor man's wife's just died. I just said he'd be welcome any time. That's all.
That's all? Oh, all right, I'll get it. Oh, it's you. Come at a bad time.
You've been in our house?
Of course I have. I used to live there.
You were in there last night messing about with Vivian.
Vivian?
The skeleton.
I never touched him.
You touched the chair.
I got a right shock. Almost as much as the electricity bill.
That's what made me realise it was you. You must have taken a bill from our house.
My house?
Which we are renting from you. You could be done for breaking and entering.
I use my own key.
Oh, we'll just have to see about getting the locks changed, won't we?
Oh, will you now? You'll need my permission for that.
Oh, no, we'll just send you the bill.
What's all the shouting about?
This fella here laying the law down about our house.
Oh, not now. We've just had a terrible shock.
Just knock him, Future.
I did.
And if there's no answer, you stay out.
And don't you go damaging them doors.
Oh, Harold, come in.
And no more skeletons in the house. It's not healthy.
It's plastic.
What were all that was about? The lad from the nurse's home and Harry Cross seemed to be shouting at each other.
Shouldn't be so nosy. Bad for your blood pressure.
You're probably right. How's those dishes coming on? You seem to be taking your time.
Been having a think, man.
Well, kitchen's a good place for a bit of peace and quiet. You should try it more often.
I've come to a decision.
You sound very serious.
I am.
What is this decision, then?
I'm leaving, Mum.
Leaving here?
Yeah. I think it's best all around.
I knew you and your dad had been falling out.
We weren't falling out. Well, we were a bit. But the thing is, he's right.
What was said?
I'm just living from day to day, man. Getting bothered. It's like I was 18 or 19 again.
What's brought this on now, this George Jackson business?
That and other things. Your baby, for one.
You don't have to think of leaving home because of that.
It's not just the space in the house, man. It sort of brought it home to me. That life's going on and I'm doing nothing about it. I mean, I'm old enough to have a family of my own now. I have to do something.
What do you want to do?
I don't know. But I know it's something, and that's a start.
Well, you don't have to leave home to change your lifestyle.
I think I do. Otherwise, it'll always be I'll change the next day or the day after. No, I've made my mind up, Mum. Nothing drastic, but I'm off.
You call that nothing drastic?
Well, I'm not going to Saudi or on the rigs or anything. I suppose that's what I mean.
Oh, well, where are you going to, then?
The shop flat for starters, I think. I'll go and see what great thoughts I can come up with over that sink, eh?
Well, that's not so bad, if you're only going there.
That's just for starters. I don't know where next, Mum.
Are you sure you're not holding anything back from me?
Like what?
Like your dad asking you to go.
He never mentioned it. He tried to have a talk to us last night for my own good. But I wouldn't take him seriously. But it was only after that I got to thinking that he was right.
So he did say something to you?
Oh, quite a bit. But none of it was get out of the house. He's a good bloke, me dad, man. And it's only now that I'm coming to realise it.
Well, go if you want. But come back if you want. And don't go far.
Don't go far, Barry. Your chips are ready.
You didn't have chips half as many times as you remember.
Our Karen will be home soon. I want to be off before then, Mum.
Why?
I don't want to cause a fuss or nothing.
You're just going to go and leave me to tell them all? And your dad?
He'll understand. I won't be far away.
There's nothing else?
No.
Nobody chasing you?
Nobody chasing. Nobody pushing. Just me deciding, Mum.
If you need me, you know where I am.
What are we going to do?
I wish you hadn't told me, Heather. I really do.
You're my superior. What do you expect me to do?
It isn't just an oversight, is it?
It's absolutely deliberate. It all falls into place now. She offered...
Don't tell me. A bribe? Control yourself, Miss Havisham. This is serious.
We were talking about the cost of productions, costumes and so on, and Jane mentioned about having to pay a fee to Gilbert and Sullivan even though they're dead. And Lynn cut in with the immortal line, more tea, anyone?
No. So she is on the fiddle?
Oh, I don't understand why. I mean, she's obviously worth a fortune. We're talking about £10 here. Gonna have to tell Mr. Drucker.
Oh, no, we are not. He'll hit the roof and blame us in some bizarre way.
And if we don't tell him, it looks as though I've missed it.
You're absolutely certain that they don't have to pay a fee to the estates of Gilbert and Sullivan?
That's what I checked with Stuart about before lunch. He mentioned something about it the other night. Lynn Dearman is on the fiddle.
But why should she be?
I don't know. Maybe all those jokes about her drinking are true. Maybe she is an alcoholic.
Oh, no, this gets worse. Will you stop that?
Hello?
Hiya.
If you're fit enough to play football, you're fit enough to work.
It's not me kids. It's a few of me clothes. I've left home, see.
Why, what's happened?
Time, that's what's happened.
Don't understand.
I think it's time I went.
Where are you going to go to?
Well, I'd hope to use the shop flat for a while.
Michelle's up there.
Oh, is she back, is she?
No, she's still at Marie's. I don't think she'd be too happy to have you live up there. She blames you for a lot of what's just happened.
It wasn't all my fault.
It was her brother-in-law who got locked up and her fella beaten up.
I got beaten up as well.
Why don't you go for a walk round Alaska? It is her flat.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah?
If she does lend us the flat, will you come and stop with us? See how it goes.
No, Barry. Maybe some other time.
Yeah, okay. I'll see you in a minute.
Our managing partner's wife's friend is fiddling the Operatic Society's books.
She made a mistake.
You said she tried to change the subject when Jane brought it up. More tea, you said she said.
Look, I honestly believe it won't happen again. At least not to these books. Did you know she's treasurer of a few more organisations?
No, but it doesn't surprise me. She hasn't got much else to do with her time.
Yes, she does. Drink. The poor woman's obviously kept short of cash because her husband knows she has a problem. And there are probably mistakes in other books. Thank God we don't have to audit them.
How do you know all this?
I phoned her up. She asked me to if I had any queries. Don't worry, I was very discreet. But when I edged the conversation towards a phantom payment of fees to Gilbert and Sullivan, she more or less broke down.
So, what happens now?
I cross it off. She finds £10 to balance the books. Can still have a review level if you want one.
I'm going to have to watch you, Heather Havisham.
She won't consider it. It's her home.
That's that then, eh?
Afraid so. We're going to have to talk.
Yeah, I know. We'll have to have a think Thursday.
Okay. Where will you be?
I don't know. I'll get in touch with you.
Give us a ring tomorrow.
Yeah.
you think you're doing?
Nothing. Just came out to see how you were getting on.
Doing all right, thanks.
Yeah, I can see that. You don't need any help then?
Yeah, we do. We don't need anyone with a punctured lung.
I wasn't going to offer.
It's all right, then. How are you?
All right, if I don't laugh.
Where are you staying?
With one of the lads from the football team.
Barry,
Yeah,
what do you want?
I just came to see you.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought I might pick up some money that's owing to me.
There doesn't seem to be any damage.
Why should there be? It's a strong fence.
Mind you, I haven't inspected the other side.
They're nurses, Harold, not vandals. You're the only one who smashes down fences.
Oh, all right, all right. I think I'll creosote it for the winter.
Well, mind you don't get it on the plants.
You say that to me every year.
Well, perhaps for once you might take some notice.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Tomorrow may not be convenient.
I've got nothing else to do tomorrow.
For them, I mean.
Look, I'm the landlord, and I'm responsible for the maintenance of the property. And it's when it's convenient for me that matters.
Oh, well, suit yourself. You always do.
What's this doing here?
When I wakened up this morning, it was looking at me.
You're going worse, you know that.
Doesn't it upset you?
Upset me?
Should have been Grace's by rights.
Yes, well.
I can't bear to have it in the house. I keep thinking about us having that lovely holiday while she was passing on.
Well, best get shut of it. I'll go next door. Maybe one of the
Oh, I
girls...
can't do with it there.
I was just thinking that one of the girls could give it to a kiddie in hospital.
Oh, Grace would have liked that.
Right. And I'll leave a note about the back fence while I'm over there. Hi, I didn't know you were in.
If you'd have rung the bell, I would have answered it.
Yeah, no need, was there?
No need?
With me having my own key.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that.
Of course, I'll only use it when it's necessary.
Like now?
I brought something for you.
What?
Well, Edna can't face it any longer.
What are you talking about?
Well, it's like this, you see. It reminds her of a friend that's just died. Well, not exactly a friend.
A donkey?
I don't think you're listening.
I'm doing my best.
Well, Edna thought it would be a good idea if you took it down to the children's hospital.
Oh, all right, yeah.
And by the way, I'll be down tomorrow afternoon to creosote the back fence.
Oh, you will you?
Yeah, about 2.
And if there's no one in?
Well, not to worry, I'll nip over the fence.
Oh, you sure you don't want to walk through the house?
I wouldn't think so, I never do.
You use your key?
That's right.
Oh, no, it isn't.
Look, is there something upsetting you?
Yeah, there is. Now, just because you own this house doesn't mean you can walk in any time that suits you, you know.
I've got a right to protect my property.
What do you mean, protect? We're not harming it.
Nobody said you were.
Yeah, but that's what it sounds like.
I think there's something you don't understand. I've got to repair and maintain it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be fulfilling my duties as a landlord. And it's not as though I'm here every 5 minutes.
No, you're in here every 2 minutes, and we're fed up with it.
Look, I've told you.
Now, listen. As long as we're paying a rent, you wait to be invited.
Oh, I do I?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, well, you get something straight. While I own this property, I've got a right of access. So you'd better get used to it.
Yeah, Ward 14, please. Yeah, can I speak to Nurse McGee, please? It's personal. Protect my property. Yes, Sam, it's me, Pat. Listen, I'm gonna change a lock on that front door. Yeah, you guessed it. You just walk straight in. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I did tell him. Look, it's the only thing to do, Sand. Look, what time you be home? Yeah, okay. Listen, I'll put a new key under the doormat. Right. Oh, and you better let Kate know.
How about it?
I don't see how you can expect anything.
A couple of hundred would do.
I dare say it would.
Well, it wouldn't harm. You just said business was good.
Not good enough to go giving money away.
Look, I bought the van, didn't I?
You and Terry. And I paid for the tax and insurance, remember?
Yeah, well, the van cost 350. All right, I'll settle for half of that. Go ahead, 160 will do.
That's big of you.
Look, Celia, I don't need the money till I get fixed up with another job.
Me and Michelle had to pay for the damage McCardle's mended.
Yeah, I know
and it
that.
came to a lot more than £160.
Yeah, well, it wasn't all my fault, you know.
It certainly wasn't ours.
Well, can't you even lend us the money till I get fixed up?
I'm sorry, Barry.
I'll pay you back. Look, we did have some good times together, didn't we? Couldn't I even borrow the van?
No, you couldn't.
Well, I mean, if I had that, I could go round and see people, you know, contacts.
You want wheels? Right.
Knew you wouldn't let us down, see?
You can take that. It's cluttering up the shop.
And what am I supposed to do with that, eh?
That's your problem. And I'll have the keys back.
You haven't half changed.
I just got to know you, Barry, that's all.
Yeah, well, feels mutual then, isn't it?
I've got work to do.
Celia. It's that Michelle's turned you against me, isn't it?
No, it isn't. Just go, Barry.
Yeah, all right, I'll go. But I won't forget about this, you know.
Fly. 20 to 1. £3. No, make it a fiver. I'll just have time.
Hey, Edna. Do you know what my lad on next door's done? Where are you off to?
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
No. I've just come in.
Didn't know you'd been out.
Well, just for a minute.
Well, I've stood on the step and you didn't pass me.
Oh, well, I went out to bring the washing in.
In your coat?
Yes, I was cold.
So you didn't give Barry anything?
Would you?
Not in your life.
He's got nothing to complain about. He was well paid for what he did.
In more ways than one.
Michelle, we're going to have to get some help in the shop, otherwise we might as well close down.
You wouldn't want that to happen, would you?
No, I don't want to. Without Barry and Terry's muscle, I can't cope.
I know, but...
I mean, it's getting ridiculous. There was a fella this morning wanted a cement mixer. He had to phone his brother-in-law in Birkenhead to help him get it home. It's a good job he had a sense of humour.
But couldn't we get one fella temporary until Terry's better?
We could, but it's not really a solution.
Well, then couldn't we get one fella permanently and another just for a few months?
How few? That's the question. We both know Terry's in a bad way.
He is getting better.
It might be a year or more before he's really fit.
I know.
Look, I like Terry and I don't want to upset him, but...
But what?
It's just that if we want to expand, then we'll need to take on some assistance. We'll have to make a decision soon.
I just want Terry to know he's got a job waiting, that's all. Can we wait another few weeks until I know how long it's going to take Terry to get better? Please, Celia, will you just wait until I've spoken to the doctor again?
And so just waiting for the 5 runners to line up. The official going now been changed to soft and
stop it, will you?
11 to 10 on from
They can see it.
Who can?
Anyone
so
can.
as they come up
You
to
should
the
be so
line,
lucky.
and they're away. And the
How about
chauffeur
just
and the
you
driver
should
about
be
the
so
first
lucky.
gone, and Penumbra on the outside.
Come, Ed. No, you're not on.
Why not?
Because I don't feel like it.
Well, what about tomorrow?
Well, I might not feel like it then either.
I mean, about the disco, you're coming.
With a load of Hell's Angels.
Well, they're not like that, you know.
Are you going to help me with these or what? Nah, they're dead boring.
No, no.
They are. All they ever do is hang around the chippy, revving up and showing off. They never go anywhere.
They do, they go all over.
Oh, yeah, all over Newton Park.
We went to Lakes, didn't we?
Well, I'm not talking about you.
Look, they're all genuine bikers. Like, don't be any punch-ups or anything like that.
Oh, you can guarantee that, can you?
Yeah.
Well, I wish I had your confidence.
Most of them are friends of mine.
Oh, you're trying to put me off now? He saw them.
Who is it?
That friend of the Crosses, or his poor wife was in a wheelchair.
Looks like he's come to stay. Anyway, come on, he's not interested enough.
Hey! Hey! What? Do you think I've nothing better to do than sitting on this sofa all day?
I'll have you.
No.
Sit yourself down, Ralph, and I'll make a cuppa. The kettle's on.
Oh, smashing. Harry not in?
No, he's out on his bike. Will you turn the radio on, Ralph? I want to catch the results.
Oh, right.
12 to 1, Strathclyde 9 to 1, 3:45, Firefly 20 to 1.
Oh, don't tell me.
Owain's Lad 5 to 1.
Oh, but I could kill him.
Who?
Harry.
Why? What's he done?
Well, if he hadn't been fussing about with that lot next door, I'd have won £100. Oh.
Couldn't you get the bet on?
I was going to run round with it, but Harry was in and out under my feet.
You know what you should do, Edna? Save yourself a lot of trouble.
The only trouble I've got is Harry.
No, seriously, what you ought to get is a credit account. Then you can just phone your bet in.
Oh, I don't know about that.
It's very convenient. I've had one for years.
Have you?
Oh, yeah. It's dead easy to arrange.
Oh, well, I wouldn't like Harry to know about it.
Oh, well, never mind. What you've never had, you never miss.
I missed that £100.
It's only money.
You've got very philosophical.
All right. Well, I suppose it's with losing grace. Money isn't everything.
Of course it isn't. How are you feeling now?
Oh, not too bad. It's being on my own that's going to take getting used to. You know, every time I hear something funny or a bit interesting, I think, oh, I'll tell Grace, and then...
Well, you're here with us now, and you'll have plenty of company.
I appreciate that, Edna.
And I know Harry will be glad to see you.
Just help yourself.
Oh, thanks, Michelle.
Porter's room, please.
listen, I thought you said you'd left the key under the mat. Well, it's not there now. Of course I've looked. Look, Pat, I can't get in. What am I supposed to do? I have. I'm in Michelle's now. Look, can you get home? I take it you've got your key. Yes, now, during your break. Well, get over here fast. Thanks, Michelle.
Oh, that's all right. Might need to borrow your phone sometime.
Oh, OK.
You locked out? Couldn't help overhearing.
Yeah, that nutter Pat's only gone and changed a lot and forgotten to leave a key.
Well, you can wait here if you like.
Oh, can I? Thanks. He says it'll be 10 minutes, but knowing him, it'll be more like half an hour.
Well, just make yourself at home.
Thanks. You lived here long?
A couple of years. Not that I live here now, not really.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I share a flat with Terry. That's my boyfriend. I'm just keeping my sister company while...
Yes, I heard you some trouble.
Then you know my brother-in-law's in jail. He got 6 months. Well, 18 really, with 12 suspended.
I'm sorry.
Surprised Harry Cross hasn't told you all about it.
Harry? He's too busy nosing around our house. That's why Pat changed a lot, because he keeps walking in without knocking.
Doesn't surprise me.
No. Well, that new lock should sort him out.
Well, I hope so. Fancy coffee?
Yeah, OK, that'd be great. It's nice here in the close, isn't it?
Apart from Harry Cross.
Yeah. I think I'm going to like living here.
Well, you three should certainly liven the place up a bit.
Well, we'll do our best.
Well, at least you haven't got any stairs to worry about.
It's much better for Harry, really. Well, there he is now.
Thought I heard voices. What are you doing here?
Ralph's just come to see us.
Why do you always state the obvious?
I thought he needed cheering up.
It was very good of Edna to ask me.
Ah, well, you're not the only one that needs cheering up. You can take me to the Swan after.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Why, something happened. You've been a long time.
So would you have been if you'd had to walk.
Edna said you were on your bike.
They let me tyres down.
Who did?
Oh, 2 right hard cases. They must have been all of 8 years of age.
Hadn't you got a pump?
They nicked it, the little perishers. I reported it to the traffic warden, but she didn't want to know.
Kids, they never know what to be up to for a bit of mischief. Mind you, I was fond of doing that myself when I was a lad.
What, nicking pumps?
No, letting tyres down for a laugh.
I'm glad you think it's funny.
Well, did you get what you wanted?
Yes, and they'll never know where I got it from.
Sandra, when Terry comes out of hospital, well, he'll have to come back here, won't be able to cope at the flat. He's going to need a lot of looking after.
Certainly will, by the sound of things.
I was wondering if you and Kate, if you could help me with him.
Nursing, you mean?
Well, I've not had any experience.
Here's a perfect opportunity.
Yeah, I know, but...
Look, when Kate and me get off duty, we're so exhausted we can hardly look after ourselves, never mind another patient.
Oh.
Don't worry about it, Michelle. I'm sure you'll be able to cope. If there's ever an emergency, you know you can rely on us.
Yeah. Expect I'll manage.
Oh, Pat, at last. Thanks for the coffee and everything.
Anytime, cheerio. Bye.
Pat, you took your time.
Look, Sam, I got here as quickly as I could.
I suppose you left the key in the house.
I told you I left it under the mat.
Well, it's not there now.
Oh, no.
You put that there?
Me? I've only just got here.
Well, it wasn't there before.
Oh, I suppose it got tired of lying there and took a little trip round the houses.
Look, I could hardly have missed it, could I?
Well, what then?
I suppose you put it there when I was in with Michelle.
No, of course I didn't.
Well, somebody did.
Andrew, catch. You sure you don't want to go out?
There's no point when Mum and Dad left us all alone.
Yeah, it's funny though.
Why?
But my mother's suddenly wanting to go and see an opera at the Empire. She's never been to one before in her life.
And what's on?
Rodrigo.
It's your language.
My dad couldn't make his house either, but he said he'd humour her.
Suits me.
And then the other morning, I caught her listening to a flute recital on Radio 3.
You never.
I did. I think it's something to do with her being pregnant.
You mean fancying strange things?
Yeah, only it's not food, it's music.
She looks well, though, your mum.
Yeah, it's the way I'm looking after her.
I could do the bit of looking after myself.
Gave you dinner, didn't I?
But you haven't told me yet.
Told you what?
If you were going to come to the disco tomorrow.
Well, only if I can bring Bernadette.
Who's she?
You mate from school.
What do you want to bring here for? You can be with me.
Yeah, and you'll be with your mates, won't you? Talking about cylinders and sprockets or whatever it is you talk about.
No, I won't.
Well, I'm not taking the chance. Either she comes or I don't.
But you haven't even asked her yet. She might be washing her hair.
I'll ring her and ask, won't I?
All right, but I don't need you sitting in a huddle all night.
By God, you're missing out here.
I miss nothing, mate.
Look at all this traffic.
It's here every day, and it's going worse.
You ought to rent out your garage. I bet somebody'd be glad of it.
That's a good idea, Harry.
Oh, is it? Well, I don't want to be waking up in the early hours of the morning while they're getting their cars out and coming back at all times of night. I can do without that.
They're worth quite a few pounds.
Oh, 7 or 8 at least.
And we could do with it.
Are you coming or what?
Oh, they're barely opened yet.
I don't like being there when they're crowded.
Well, don't drink too much.
Oh, all right, all right.
Don't worry, I'll bring him home in good order.
See you later, then.
What do you mean? You'll bring me home?
Well, you bring me home then.
Here?
Yeah.
Why are you staying the night?
Well, a little bit more than that, Harry.
How much more?
Well, Edna said until I get over, you know, Grace. You don't mind, do you?